Live every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks, we'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom is. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We've got your back, no wreck, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in the fun, engaging way.
You gotta love it. Or are you just playing another song now? You gotta love it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Test Kitchen. Ray, it's so good to see you.
David, it's good to be seen again.
How you feeling?
I'm getting the throat back. It's sinusitis just kicked my butt.
Yeah, I bet.
But I'm good.
Really, really happy to see you again. Good. And Mr. Latta, how are you, sir?
Doing good, Mr. David Paskin.
Thank you, sir. Daniel, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Oh, we got like there's a weird, something. What are all those things behind you?
If you remember,
models.
those are his RC cars, David.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Very cool. Let's see who else is here. Frank is here. Hello, Frank. Hasmuk is here hiding. Oh, small crew this week. All right. All righty. We got, hey, Hasmuk, good to see you. we got some release notes right before we went live, actually. But I forgot what I even labeled this week. What did I label this week? I don't even know. Thank you. Oh, just what's cooking? Because I had nothing else. Thank you, Ray. Yeah. So I will say that we have nothing for good reason because, well, actually, it's not that we don't have nothing. Both Mike and I, our jaws dropped a little bit when we read about, what was it?
Zoom for home.
Yeah, Zoom for home, right? Which I think is not really much of anything, but I mean, it's Zoom rooms for your home, which we could definitely look at. But the good reason is because NAB is coming. Like we're in convention season or whatever you call it, showcase season, and so I know that Zoom is gonna. I don't know what. I'm sure that Zoom will have announcements coming up there. Certainly a lot to do with media, maybe some partnerships they're working on, things like that. Because now that Skype is dead, they are making a big play for broadcast, for replacing all those boxes that the broadcast, that the studios have in there that used to bring their special little Skype in. They're now fighting for those and trying to make those relationships. So in any case, that plus some nice little stuff for us, maybe that's all coming. But for right now, it's kind of quiet. We got those release notes, we got Zoom for home, and we got Frank.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too.
And we got Tamra.
Hello, friend.
Hi, Tamra. Good to see you. So, Mike, do you want to take a stab at Zoom for home? I'm putting you
Well,
on.
I want to take a stab at it.
Well, like figuring out, I mean, from what I could gather, it's buy a piece of hardware and use Zoom rooms in your home. That's like, I don't think there's anything new to it. Is it?
That is the Facebook portal thinking to it, David, which is fine. The Zoom for home, the bit of research that I did on it after Andy let us know about it in Discord, made me take a look at my plans. And my plan, unfortunately, because I've never had a Facebook portal, nor do we have any Zoom rooms, I cannot access Zoom for home. So I cannot enable that for any of my workers, nor any of my any of the C-suite people in our office.
But can't you set up? Can't you just set up a Zoom room on your computer? I thought maybe I'm wrong. Frank, what do you do you understand this?
Well, a little bit. I had Zoom for home. I think during the pandemic, I bought a Facebook portal.
He just announced it.
No, it's been around for a while.
Well, what did he put? Now I'm confused.
Anyways, so
I can't even find that. Where's that? Do you remember where he posted that, Mike? I don't even remember.
but you're right. A Zoom room needs some kind of an appliance to run on. It could be a NUC, or it could be a Raspberry Pi maybe or something, but it can also be a computer, but that computer is now dedicated to being just for Zoom. You don't use it for anything else.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So it becomes a Zoom appliance, even though it is really a computer.
Gotcha.
And then the big thing about Zoom rooms is they're more geared towards corporate AV type rooms, and they play well with other corporate AV equipment. So you can automate things like when I start a Zoom meeting, the screen will go down and the projector will turn on, or other things of that nature. So when you have a Zoom for home kind of situation where you're not a corporation, it's kind of weird. In your admin panel, these devices will show up as Zoom rooms, but I really wish Zoom would call them, like, I don't know, Zoom special rooms or half rooms or something, because it's not the same as having a real corporate AV dedicated space, right?
I'm trying to, for the life of me, I cannot find where he posted this. I don't know. I can't remember now. Zoom home.
I was using an iPad, I think, as my controller for my Zoom room. So you can use a tablet, but in a corporate space, usually you have the option to use more sophisticated corporate AV stuff like an AMC panel or a Crestron panel or something like that, right? So then you get into the situation where if you have that kind of equipment, you usually have a programmer who designs the buttons and the GUI, and then there's scripting involved. Like, so when I said, you press start a Zoom room meeting and the screen comes down and the windows close, usually you have a programmer who writes all that stuff using one of the programming languages that they use for AMXs or Crestrons or any of those other kind of things. On an iPad, I don't have those skills, so it was basically just a way to, you can hook up extra monitors, you can hook up cameras, other things, but I wasn't doing anything very sophisticated with it.
So here's the site, Zoom for Home, and interestingly enough, there's the help article, or one of the help articles, is dated December 20th, 2024. That doesn't mean that's when it was written, but that's maybe the latest update. But so I didn't realize that this was out and about. I thought it was new, but
Maybe they've relaunched it or put more emphasis on it, but I had it during the pandemic.
so it's included with Zoom meetings. You just need the device. Log in with a certified or compatible device with your user account and create an instant office experience. Make or receive phone calls, okay. A meeting feels like you're there, right? I mean, again, it's Apple TV. Could you? But the Apple TV isn't one of the devices, is it? Because that could actually be interesting. I don't think it
I
is.
have Zoom installed on my Apple TV, but I don't have Zoom for Home installed on my Apple TV.
No, same with me. That could be interesting to me. But I don't think that's I mean, when you look at the hardware options, conference room, choose a collaboration tool, conference rooms. See, I don't even know. I mean,
David, the ones that would qualify for the Zoom Rooms Home are the conference room gear. So you
yeah,
see,
I was kind of hoping that I would see an Apple TV in here, but I don't.
no, yeah. So again, so as Frank was talking about, it would be similar to, you see that Poly Studio model
Sure.
that you had there?
Sure.
So basically you have your PC that needs still a camera and a microphone.
Right.
And you would still need like an iPad to be able to be on the, in theory, table. And that is basically your interface to log you into the meeting, to accept people into the meeting. So that is your interface, for lack of terminology.
Yeah, no, I understand the tech. I just don't really.
You could buy a used Mac Mini, like an M1 or something, for a couple $100,
Right.
and you would dedicate that computer to being a Zoom room appliance.
I guess I just don't understand the why.
I'm confused too. Is it
Yeah.
so that you can have more than one person in from your house in a meeting? Is that the benefit of it? Like, I understand it from a conference room point of view. You can go in, it's always logged on. Is that a similar thing in?
Well, one thing with Zoom rooms is you can say more about how your views of the meeting are displayed on multiple monitors. So you can have like 3 monitors set up. One of them always shows content, one of them always shows the gallery, and one of them always shows the active speaker. Like you get more flexibility in the Zoom room thing. You can use smart tags and intelligent director and all the stuff that Zoom rooms has that regular Zoom doesn't have.
So maybe if your office is your work from home, maybe this is something that you
If you're just a geek and you have like a garage or a studio or something and you want to go crazy and set up a bunch of 48-inch
right.
TVs and you like this sort of thing, like you can do a lot of,
I mean-
I find it's more professional than just a regular Zoom meeting.
Right.
Guess what else it'll work with, David?
I'm sorry?
Guess what else it'll work with?
What? Yeah, the Ivy. I mean, but that also feels like it's a professional tool, and we're talking about throwing this in someone's family room. I mean, Ray on YouTube says family chat with grandparents, and the first thing that I thought of was when we do Passover in my house, the holiday Passover, we all sit around in our living room, and my mother, who lives in California, is on the TV, and we use continuity camera and Zoom, and that's how we all connect. And like, it could be cool for her to be able to see all the individuals rather than just the one big screen, but I don't know.
I think it just leverages a lot of the Zoom room stuff that we don't have in regular Zoom, like Smart Director is
Right.
pretty cool. And the way it can give you, like, you can have one camera shooting 5 people, and it'll give you single shots or group shots from that one camera without panning or tilting or doing anything.
And Frank, is that a function of Intelligent Director, or is that alone, or is that also a function of the camera? So, for example, if I'm just using my iPhone and continuity camera and my Apple TV, but I have a Zoom room connected to it somehow, would I have Intelligent Director from continuity camera?
I don't know the answer specifically, but my intuition is it just takes the digital image. You have one camera, and what it does is it does something like a region of interest, and it artificially picks that region of interest and displays it to you instead of showing you the group shot, even though the physical camera hasn't panned or zoomed or tilted or done anything.
It's just cropping.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it's doing.
Yeah, it's basically doing similar technology to what they call ePTZ, which is electronic PTZ, which is basically the lens is fixed.
Yeah,
But
that's what I have.
basically it's doing a virtual, yeah, and that's what,
Just-
yeah.
What I have right in front of me, the camera I'm on right now is an ePTZ, and it's 4K, and then it pans and tilts by doing region of interest.
But that's just that's what the Mac cameras do, isn't it? Like how what do they call it? Where they keep you in frame.
Yeah, but it's I guess it's similar. I don't know. Continuity camera pans and tilts the same way, like it's doing region of interest, right? It's the phone isn't suddenly tilting and shifting around. It's
Right.
but in a Zoom room, you can hook up multiple cameras, and you can also have ceiling mics or boundary mics or fixed mics that will activate a specific camera based on how loud, like one of the microphones detects
Follow the
sound, and it'll do a noise gate and say, okay, microphone 3 is the loudest microphone right now. That therefore the scripting says that camera 2 should be the shot.
Right.
Like there's things you can do with a Zoom room that you can't do with regular Zoom.
I do find this a little. I just say one other thing, Andy. Sorry, and then please jump in.
That's all right.
Not only is just this a little odd to me in general, but the fact that they're also pushing Apple Vision Pro as a part of this just sort of makes it doubly odd. I mean, who has that?
It just is the display, right?
Yeah, but who has that?
But think about your target audience now. You've gone from some guy in his living room in his socks and underwear to someone who probably works in a corporate boardroom, maybe a Fortune 500 person who wants to be able to have the same quality of meeting at home as when they're in the office because they're talking to other CEO 500 type people.
Right.
So
for those 500 people, this is
there's way more than 500 of those people on the planet. Every corporation, big corporation, has how many people that are big shots on their board of directors and stuff? Like,
so it's just for me. Then it's strange. Andy,
the executive class, you
No.
might want to say.
I can't even get executives to like put a camera and a microphone in front of them. Like,
Andy, go ahead, jump in.
Well, I was gonna say the whole thing came up with Tamara's post in Zoom Test Kitchen's Discord for the Zoom meeting channel.
That's
when
right.
She was when you were talking about your client who wanted to do a hybrid thing. That's what it came up with. And then Andy said, "Hey, you could just do the Zoom, this whole Zoom room, your personal Zoom room," was what he called it. Yeah.
Oh, that was in response.
In response to
That,
me.
that was in response to
Yeah.
Tamara's
I
post.
didn't even realize because he didn't reply. It was just okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Tamara, what was
And I
what
still don't know what to do.
you started this problem? So what
I
what
started this problem.
I didn't read the Discord, so what are you trying to do?
What are you trying to
So
do?
here's
And
the thing.
give me as much information that I didn't have that I did reply
I
to,
know.
please.
No, it's totally cool. So I do all of the digital events for this producing organization, and they have since started to meet back in person. And so once a month they do these town halls, and what they have been using up to this point in this very small theater is a Zoom portal. And so the Zoom portal, they've been facing it to the stage. They've been taking the computer feed from Zoom and putting the audience gallery view on a, little tiny portable screen so that people in the room can see the screen. And then they've been taking a second computer using the computer's camera, I know, cringy, and facing it to the audience to get that in there. The experience from inside of Zoom is just exactly what you'd expect. It's pretty gross. You get kind of this bad sound, and then they'll sometimes do, some of the speakers will be in Zoom and some of the speakers will be on the stage in little chairs, folding chairs. So now the Zoom portal no longer is updated by or the Meta portal is no longer updated by Meta, and they no longer accept Zoom. So Zoom does not work on it anymore. So they were like, great, we can upgrade. And I was like, awesome, let's get a real camera, real microphones, and solve this problem the way that I know is technically savvy. They went with, I believe, I have to see the final thing. They ended up getting 2 refurbished laptops and 2 PC laptops, and I'm a Mac girl, so I don't quite understand. And then a PTZ like camera for a boardroom with like a little puck. So they basically replaced the portal with some other kind of device. I will see it probably Monday morning at 6 a.m. my time. I see what it looks like because they're going to test it.
How big is this space?
It's not that big. It's not as small enough to have like the portal give good quality sound. And when I said, hey, like that's not the best idea for sound, they're like, we can just choose not to use the sound. I'm like, great. So we'll focus on making the sound better once I see what it is. So that's where I was asking the question, because they were like, we're ready to buy it. There was truthfully this was a perfect example of there's no talking people out of what they think they want to do. And so even so, then it becomes, okay, what can I do to help you as we add more, more infrastructure on. I'm going to focus on sound because we're not going to.
This is something my mother used to say all the time. You have champagne tastes and a beer budget.
Right.
So it sounds like what you said. I deal with people who want to do stuff like this all the time, and you tell them this is not a professional solution. Don't expect good results, and they go ahead and do it anyways. Lighting would help. Lighting always helps the camera. So
yeah,
I mean,
we do have. I mean, it's a theater, so they do have some lighting in there.
Sound is going to be the most important thing for most meetings, and it's the hardest thing to do properly if you don't spend the money or have the technology to do it correctly.
Yeah, and the other issue is this is an organization who was ahead of their time the first week of the pandemic when they rushed, the theater people could not be bothered to wait even a second before they started meeting again. So they immediately, within like the first week, started weekly, gatherings and doing all of these things digitally. So in 2020, March of 2020, they were ahead of the curve. But we are using the same technology that we used March of 2020, 5 years later. It's like, guys, if people and I think their thinking is, well, it works, so why change it? And like, it works for your current clientele, except that they're all now going to meetings that are better, like because other people have gotten better. So it's just a little bit of that. I kind of introduce new things to make it more technically savvy on the digital event side, and then they're like, oh, this is amazing, but I have to wait until I have to balance out what is their level of comfort in change, which is very low. And
Right.
then like, how can I implement that in a way that is immediately impressive with that justifies the pain of changing over.
Do you have
So
any
some
money?
things they had probably about 5,000, not a
Because
lot.
what I would almost consider like do an A/B test, like bring in a vendor who sets up like or a corporate AV guy,
Yeah.
or company, do one with proper equipment, record it and have them experience it, and then do it with their solution for a day, and then roll video of both, and they can see with their own eyes how and hear it
I
how
think
much worse or better it is.
Yeah, I think they're I hear you. I think you're correct. It's a matter of getting them to do that. I think that this is going to be like, I'm going to see what they came up with, because even though I was like, I think you should go this direction, they were like, here's what we're getting. I'm like, okay, I've given you what
Sometimes people don't know what they're missing out on because they
Right.
have no point of reference or
Yeah.
contrast. Like if you're driving around in a 17-year-old burnt out car and you think it's just fine until you go to the showroom and then you go, oh my God, I can't believe I'm driving around in this piece of junk. Like maybe if you could set up a proper system or
Yeah.
pay a
If
company
I
to come
was
in for a day.
if I was there, that's the other issue too, is we're having even problems getting just a kid to come in and run the basics. So that's our other issue, is that I pulled back a little bit because I was like, you don't have anybody to run this, and I don't live in New York right now. So until we can find someone that I can be like, all right, now we're going to build, here's what we're going to do. And that's been the hardest thing.
Maybe try and get a commitment to a certain amount of budget per year and have like a 3-year plan where audio is
Yeah.
first and
Yeah.
then video is second or something.
That's what
wondering-
I'm feeling now. I am interested in looking at Zoom rooms though, to see if maybe that, instead of going into a regular meeting, if going into a Zoom room gives us something. I don't know. It's I've been able to, on the digital side, when we do digital events, bring in Ecamm or bring in OSC into meetings, or I use Obvio. So having people come in through a dashboard, and that has, so I've been able to help elevate things slowly. And now they're like, I would never have known that I needed this because I didn't see it before. So I'm able to do it on the digital event side. I'm just not able to do it on the hybrid event side.
Ray is suggesting for the audio piece, this Jabra Speak 2, which actually looks pretty cute. I don't
You
know.
can gang these in the audience and they're going to hear and sound wonderful.
All right.
There's the Bluetooth model, but there's the wired model as well. And we use them in classrooms, tough situations. You'd be very surprised.
Do these sit on the table? Or could you also potentially?
You put it on the floor between them, or on a table in front of the audience. You're talking about the audience sitting in theater chairs?
Yeah, I think that the one that they got, the device that they got has like a puck mic like this. And so maybe it was just augmenting it with another one to help.
Yeah, this one has some great ability, and they also know this one knows that the other one's speaking, and so it cuts out the microphone.
Okay.
It's quite robust.
Only $269. It's not that.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
The other thing you might want to try is a catch box.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I've not. Please tell me
So
more.
it's going to be a little more expensive, but what it is it's this company that makes a box. I think
David's got it right there.
Anyways, it's a box, and what you do is you put a wireless
yeah.
microphone inside the box.
Oh, and you throw it around. Yeah.
And then
that's cool.
And that way, at least the microphone's close to the person's mouth who's speaking,
Mhm.
because trying to get a whole room of audio when the microphone's 30 feet away doesn't work so good. It's just
I
bad
had
physics.
tried to get them. This is like how basic. I was like, let's get a place for Q&A to where you set up another camera with the microphone there and have people step into that Q&A, which seemed like that shouldn't be hard. It was like,
Yeah, I've done that for lots of events where you set up
it made them
Q&A might come both aisles or something.
Yeah,
or you do the Donahue thing if you're old enough
Yep.
to know who,
I
and
do.
someone runs up and puts a
Yeah.
microphone on the person's
I
face.
love
But
the idea of the catch box. It's
I
the
love
only
that.
thing
That's-
about catch boxes, there's two things I don't like about them. Because you're throwing them, it's really easy to hit a laptop and knock it down or knock someone's coffee flying. So there are some
Or
things I worry about
My
those.
clientele may not be in their best catch worthy days. All
Yeah,
of
that's
them.
the other
So
thing.
that
I was thinking about
might
that also.
not be the
And I think
best,
people will catch it.
the best option.
Wow.
I just
People
don't want
hold
any.
on to it. People also hold on to it and forget to pass it on.
It
Right.
really
We're theater
expensive.
people. We're not sporty.
It's
Our
it's not
sport
as
is jazz
interactive.
hands.
Clip lavalier mic through a single hub receiver, $1,800.
Wow.
Other options are things like wire mics that hang from the ceiling, and then you have
Mhm.
an automated box that turns on the mic that's closest to the loudest sound. But those things can be problematic too if it's automated because
Yeah.
oh, someone's opening a bag of chips and someone else is talking and the chips are louder. But
We
there's
also don't have anything fixed. We have to come in, set it up, bring it out. So that's the other fun.
there's some really like
How
now
big
I'm
a
getting
room is it?
I have to look at, someone went and took.
I mean, is it like a
a
movie
living room.
theater space?
It's
or
like
living
a
room?
small theater. I don't know if it's 99 seats or 40 seats.
It's a
something
pretty big
in that-
space.
In
Okay.
that range.
yeah, that's what I was afraid of, Tamara. When I was giving you the info, when I was making my comments, I gave you for boardroom or less, and I
Yeah.
gave you boardroom or more. Your
Mhm.
boardroom or more.
Right.
Well, but you're not
Exactly.
filling all 99 seats, are you?
I'm not. And that's
No.
the thing. It's still a pretty small meeting. Like the in-person people, I mean, we'd have to do a lot of work um to make it really look better because right now they're just shooting the camera into the in-person audience and there's almost no light. They look like they're, like the old school show up and look like you're in a street gang or something. So
Can you turn on the overhead lights like you would when
they've done some. I haven't been in that space in many years.
Oh.
So I don't know. When I'm there, I'm hoping to kind of go in and know a little bit more. I think this will get them started. We'll see on Monday to at least have their next one, and then I'll have a month to kind of go, okay, well, now that we did that one, let's try. So yeah, it's one of those things where even when you say, hey, these things are possible, they go, yeah, but we could just do this. And is this cheap? I'm like, that is cheap. Congratulations.
We were fooling around with, I can't remember what it was called a couple of years ago, where basically we have these large 400 seat auditoriums and passing microphones around and stuff wasn't really practical. And there are companies that make an app for your phone and your phone becomes the microphone and goes into the Zoom meeting or whatever. So everyone's got a cell phone on them. The trick is, and I think the software accomplishes this, is you don't want the sound coming out of the phone. You only want the microphone active so that you don't get feedback. But I think there's some software out there for that. But the other thing about
no, go ahead.
Zoom rooms is Zoom companion mode, where now everyone in the room can do the polls and things. They're not going to be in the meeting, but they can do all the meeting.
I do love
Q&A and stuff.
Yeah. So let me, does anybody, I mean, you know a little bit about Zoom rooms. I have these computers, these like little laptops. Will they run Zoom rooms? Could they be a dedicated computer? Because these are not going to be used for anything other than this purpose.
I don't know. What are they?
You can run a computer with Zoom rooms, but not for the personal Zoom rooms. Like if you pay for a Zoom room license, you can do that. But I tried doing that with my computer the other day, adding the software to it and doing the personal Zoom room, and it did not like it. It said, you don't have a license for this.
That's so rude.
I did it, but it was 2 or 3 years ago. But I was using a Mac Pro and an iPad tablet to have a Zoom room. And then I bought a Facebook portal and did it that way.
Yeah, the portal worked for them for a long time, and the last one they did, it really
I know.
It wouldn't
They're
hook up at all.
They're discontinued.
And they were like, it's done. Here's what they bought.
Searching for that app that you just, I remember seeing that and thinking that's a really smart idea.
Well, I know some of the big companies like Biamp were doing it, and then there may be smaller. But the reason Biamp does it is because you buy a Biamp DSP for your location, right? So you've already got the DSP, and then it's just some software that talks to the DSP, right?
Yeah, Dan's actually saying, yes, Frank, it's BiAmp from YouTube. Yeah.
BIAPP?
So BIAMP.
But this is not something you're going to
It's-
buy if you don't have
yeah.
any money. This is corporate AV equipment. This is not low end stuff for regular people.
Right.
And again, it's not the cheapest thing to either install or program to make sure that it's properly functional every time. So this is not
this is a professional solution.
And it's majority of the time it would be cost prohibitive to be setting this up and tearing this down every time.
Right.
But there may be some way, some company or someone who's making an app that lets your phone be your microphone.
In theory, if you really want to go simplistic, everybody has Zoom on their phones, and then it's the microphone.
I would just be worried about feedback, like imagine.
That doesn't work well, Mike. People will not turn off what they need to turn off, and it'll squeal like the heck.
We've done Q&A mics where you set one up on both sides of the room, and if you want to talk, you come to the Q&A mic, and we have a fixed camera locked off on that shot, and then the director or whatever just cuts to the preset shot. Or maybe you have a PTZ for my American friends, and usually most PTZs have stored locations where the camera just jumps over there. So you could say, Q&A mic 1 is button 1, and Q&A mic 2 is button 2, and someone would just have to bounce back and forth.
That's what I'm hoping to eventually guide them towards, is to get this basic setup this time, and then let's really think about how to upgrade that other side. I cannot.
Right, but the camera that you mentioned that they're looking at is too small to do that, though.
Well, but that camera would be the one that is facing the audience. I mean, that is facing the panel on stage anyways. And then I would find a separate camera for the other. Because right now, their original plan, and I said, please do not ever do that. That will make people throw up in Zoom. Because their original thing was to just control it from the stage and be like, oh, the other audience is talking, let's flip it around. I'm like, please don't do that.
Here's
do that.
Here's that. So it's called Crowd Mics. Thank you, Dan from YouTube. And it is from BiAmp. It's really, again, I just think it's a very, very smart solution. If it were, I've never used it, but use your smartphone as a microphone that broadcasts over the event's PA system. So presumably then there's a box hooked up to the PA system with a receiving app or something like that.
Usually, let's say it's called the host podium or whatever, where the host is at the front of the room.
Yeah.
They can see whose microphones are available, and they have to approve it so that people just don't start talking.
Right. Yeah, and it tells you that you're live. There's polling. It's interesting. This would be, Zoom has, forgive me, I don't remember what it's called. They have the app where if you're in a conference, you can join for polls and for chat and things.
Yeah, Companion. I said that earlier. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm a little surprised that they haven't thought to integrate something like this into that.
We did. I had to jump in just because.
By the way,
I've seen.
Wait, I just want to interrupt and say, I almost wrote to you on YouTube and said, how long do you think you can actually stay away, Ray? I knew
I was doing my lunch because all the rest of you guys went to daylight saving time and I didn't, and I'm getting home about the time you guys start now. So anyway. So I put a link in the chat. It's something that I saw recently, and it's Zoom Companion Audio for Zoom Rooms. It's designed to solve that problem where you've got a larger space and people in the back can't hear and also can't be heard, I believe. I haven't seen it, but it was like, wow, this is actually, this is a good thing. That companion mode for hybrid events is actually pretty cool. Everybody gets to participate, and that would be my way actually of getting everybody in Tamara's group to ask questions. I mean, that's Zoom's approach for a hybrid thing, is everybody's got a question, put it in the Q&A. We don't care where you are. And then the moderator reads from that.
So that's only with Zoom rooms, right?
No, that's Zoom events.
Oh, Zoom
mostly.
events. Okay.
Meetings.
That
You can do
companion, but you
Q&A
can do
in a
it
meeting.
meetings too.
Okay. Because that's the other thing too is, you know, the other area that I could solve some of the problem with is doing some of the controlling if I'm controlling the meeting, which I can. I just need to, because I can control the digital side of it.
So here's this companion audio. You pair your Zoom Workplace app to the Zoom room. Now, does each individual have to do this or just the host? I'm not sure. It looks like each individual does.
I think it's the people out in the audience have permission to link up.
Pair, they join the meeting, select the option to enter companion mode when it appears. You can set it up so that they're muted by default, which I think makes sense. There's also a room listen feature. So there's a listen and talk feature. It sounds to me like this doesn't have what Frank was talking about, which to me as a facilitator would be absolutely critical, which is that I control who can unmute and who can't unmute. You know, I want a dashboard that says, you know, this person raised their hand and so now I want to enable the mic on there.
And again, from my perspective, the problem that you then run into is that the people that are in your panel on the big thing, that they can talk whenever they want. And so yeah, you have to have control of your audience. And in some corporate meetings, you know, they use Robert's Rules of Order and you have to request to be recognized before you speak anyway. And that to me is helpful in a boardroom environment, unless it's really small. So yeah. Crowd control.
I looked up the using your phone as a microphone, and I found a couple of third-party apps, but they're all for Windows. So
Windows phones?
No, they connect a phone to a Windows computer.
Windows device. Okay, gotcha. Well, that would, for Zoom rooms, that would make sense. I mean, if that's what they're using.
No, this has nothing to do with Zoom. This is just connecting, using your phone as a microphone, period.
Well, yeah, no, there are lots of apps that do that. Sure. That doesn't really address what we're talking about here, but you're absolutely correct. You could always use your phone either as a camera or a mic. I do think if there's a market for this in large conferences, I do think that Zoom would be smart to look at what Biamp has done and see how they can build this functionality. They already have, I think, Ray, at least the beginnings, if not more. It would be interesting to see how they build it out. Frank, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say for Tamara too. The other thing about Zoom rooms is smart tags are pretty cool.
Okay.
Where it's not quite a lower third, but every person who's logged into the meeting with a computer, because you have to log in, it knows who you are, and then when you're on stage or whatever you want to call it, it puts a super of your name underneath you.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Here's what they ordered. They ordered 2 renewed HP Elite laptops, 14-inch business laptops, quad Intel i5, and then a PTZ style 4K camera that does AI powered auto pan and zoom.
You know the style, PTZ style. What's that mean?
Yeah,
it is probably what I posted, which is a meant for it's not a PTZ camera. It's meant for a boardroom type of situation. I will know more on
probably
Monday.
ePTZ, like Mike was talking about earlier.
I will say that one thing about rooms, and then Hasmuk Europe, is Zoom rooms is that, boy, I got, my only experience with Zoom rooms is getting burnt by them, because when I went to change my pro account to the business account, I couldn't make any changes to my account because it kept saying that I had a Zoom room attached to it, and I didn't. I've never had a Zoom room. I've never paid for Zoom rooms. It was probably the Facebook portal, which looked like a Zoom room too. But it was just, and no one at Zoom knew how to fix it. No, it was just whatever. I'm not still bitter. Hasbro, go ahead. Stop, Mike.
Yeah, this is quite current. Funny enough, at our local medical school, they have what they call a weekly grand ward round, which is a hybrid event. And then they have 30 or 40 of the leadership academic staff in that room, and another 70, 80 people online. And so they asked me yesterday to join, and it was horrid. It was terrible. So I called the head of the department, and I shall not repeat the four-letter word, but I did express myself very clearly of what I felt about it. And luckily for me, they are very welcoming of any input. Just help us out. So there's no resistance to help. Maybe the four alphabet helped. Anyway, I what I wanted to talk about is Sennheiser. I was funny enough at a show today, and I was chatting to the Sennheiser representative. They actually have a room planner. And with a room planner, you can then figure out what kind of mic will be helpful in that room planner. And they also have a set of ceiling speakers, and I think they call, mics, they call them Team Connect Ceiling Conference mic. So I thought that was quite interesting. So I thought I'd just give you that little contribution.
So here's the room planner. Let's say it's a medium room. Oh, 8 to 14. Oh boy. Okay. The maximum number of people you can have is 20. Let's do a large room. Create room. And solution 1 is Team Connect Ceiling 2 microphone, and then it tells you what it's connected. I'm not really, what is exactly happening here?
You're getting way past your budget though. I mean, when you start talking about beamforming array microphones that go in the ceiling,
Yeah.
you know, those are several $1,000s per microphone, and in a big space you need a certain amount of them to gang together to
Yeah.
cover the whole space.
And it's not portable enough. Like we have to be able to put everything into a
I've
suitcase that
seen
can
people
ride on
put
the
them.
subway.
I've seen people put them on speaker stands and stuff, but I
Right.
mean, they're still very expensive, and they require networking and a whole bunch of other things too. But
Yeah.
another thing
Yeah.
you might want to look into is depending, you know, it might use up most of your budget, but stuff like Logitech Rally bars or Neat bars or any of those kind of tools, which do some of the things you want, and you can as you go add extenders onto them, like extra pucks and stuff.
Even the this is the Rally camera. Huh.
They bought 2 computers and a camera for $750. That just tells you where we're at.
Yeah.
But I do have some money left over. And again, I am starting to kind of just think, okay, well, this is what we have now. What is my 3 to 5 year plan so that I can, you know, present to the board? You're going to be raising money for this package.
They said, sorry, Tamara, this is a frontal presentation. There's like speakers at the front and then people are sitting in the audience, or is it possible to change the orientation of the room and do it in the round?
No, it's well,
it's not.
So it kind of sort of isn't around the way that it's set up, because so there's speakers on the stage, and then there's a this is where I want a telestrator. And then there's a screen that has the Zoom participants. So it's on kind of an angle so people on the stage can see the Zoom participants, but also that the audience can see the Zoom participants, because sometimes the Zoom participants are also speakers. And then the audience in the house.
Owl again, you know, wondering if I mean, I haven't played with the Owl 3. The Owl 1 the quality was not good. But this is doing what every other tool, a lot of the other tools that we've talked about are doing. It's basically taking one image, cropping in. The difference is this is a 360 camera, and then it's cropping in an image. The image quality is not going to be amazing. You definitely would need to get extenders for the audio. But
I have 2 computers and now that I'm going to get to play with. I mean, I'm tempted for the audience one because I've been using in my little theater, my little Link 360, and it's got great quality to pick things up in that way. So again, it's trying to figure out a way to connect those 2 audiences a little bit better, which I think I can do from within the room. I'm interested in kind of playing around, looking at Zoom rooms a little bit. And then also Zoom Production Studio has a lot more. So like a Zoom event would have a lot more tools that I could play with them.
Tamara, let me ask you this. Is this, so this location that you're holding these meetings, what else is done in that building?
It's a theater. So we go in and we rent it for like 5 hours and then we leave. So it does have theater lighting in it. We don't use their equipment there really. So, you know, anything we bring in, mic, sound board, whatever we bring in, we would have to bring in. You know, we're using their internet. That's what.
Right. So again, it's not much different than, so you could potentially have a small concert in this theater, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, but it's a small space. Like I have a space like that here in Los Angeles. That's, you know, 49 seats. It's similar to that. It's like a black box theater.
So Tamara, to get your in-person audience involved and still have your online audience involved, I'm thinking maybe the best thing to do is literally in the aisle at the front, put a podium with a laptop on it and a speaker, a microphone, whatever, and have that as one of the squares on the wall. And so, yes, people do have to get up and go to talk,
right?
But still, people are used to that. If you're in a town hall situation or something like that, I mean, getting up and walking to a microphone.
It is not that hard. It is something I'm going to keep pushing a little bit hard, a little bit easier. And, you know, next time I'm there, I will try to do it on a week that I know.
And also it means you can have them as one of the squares on the screen.
So right now we do have
be seen by everybody.
Right. So we do have them as we use a separate computer to shoot the audience just sitting there as a whole, and they are one of the squares in Zoom. And then the stage is on there. I don't zoom in right now because that's not what I've had. We literally are using they have been using a laptop computer to accomplish that task. So, you know.
Hey, Tamara.
Yeah.
Look at the link that Frank just put in the chat. This is fantastic.
Okay.
There's a Zoom Rooms design guide.
I love that.
And now, even if you're not using Zoom Rooms, it seems to me this would be unbelievably helpful. I mean, look at, you've got Zoom Rooms certified hardware, and then by spaces, appliance design. So let's say a huddle space up to 7 people. And then it kind of shows you.
But these are all for permanent installs. This is a casual meeting.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying it's.
But I can adapt. I mean, I've been in.
Right. You don't have to get the LG commercial display. You could. And it's just, it's a very, and it gives you a whole bunch of different options. And
I'm going to play around with it and see, I'm going to see what they end up with, what they get, what they purchased already. And then see if there's.
All right, Frank. Wow.
The main thing is kind of seeing, do I try to move them from a regular Zoom meeting to an event or something? Or
sounds a lot like a city council on Zoom with a limited budget.
It sure is. Nonprofit for theater people. And also, like, the other thing I balance is my understanding of what it could be and their comfort in what they have, and finding ways to move them from their comfort zone towards better. But it's not going to ever happen in one fell swoop because it's such a dramatic change and we don't make changes well. So, you know, it's about finding, okay, this is what they have now. What is my next step to give them a little bit more and to up the quality a little bit better and eventually move them closer and closer, which is what I've done in our digital events, and it has worked. But it's a slow process.
So Tamara, if you have other events other than this particular one that have a better quality, higher quality, you might perhaps schedule that in the same room right before this other thing, and then leave the setup there.
If I did, I would definitely do that. I think there's going to be ways for me to get them what they want. You know, they're open to it, but again, you know, I said, hey, let's try this. I emailed Mickey. I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And he's like, this is what I really think. I'm like, I know, I think the same. I agree with you. I think the same. So it's like, I know that I can get them there, but now I have to figure out what they did purchase and what they're, because they tend to do things and they're like, we have 3 weeks. What do we do? Okay, well,
You know what kills me is that we spend all this time thinking about how to make the quality of the experience better. And then we show up with our new toys and tools and HD this and microphone that, and they throw up a PowerPoint and then they read the PowerPoint to the audience.
Right.
I just what we offer can only go so far. I want to, Lois, I'm going to come to you, but when you're done, Ray put a really interesting question in the chat, which I want to make sure we get to.
So I think that in your situation, and you probably already know this because you're Tamara, but the explaining to someone and convincing them that the reason for a change is good, I think that's the big key. In other words, yeah, I sat in the back of the Quaker meeting house, and I was in meetings for worship for all the time. And, I'd sit in the back and somebody say something, I could barely hear them. I couldn't see over other people, but if I could explain, and then when I went to Zoom, it was great. If I could explain to the person who's in that first experience that what we're attempting to do is to make your experience better, because when someone asks a question, you'll be able to see who's asking the question. You can see them, it's like having them right there.
If I was there, I would be able to just go in and show them. Yeah. And they are open to it because they know that I've made changes into the digital space that have made their lives drastically better. So when I tell them this is an unsatisfying experience for the people in Zoom, then they know that I'm not lying, and they're willing to do it. But it also I need to find someone on the ground who can really understands tech, because none of these guys understand tech. They just did that. So that's been my biggest thing. As soon as I find that person, even if it's a college kid, I can guide them to there, because I will have someone to be able to direct traffic from the cloud.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks for all your help, guys.
Hey, Ray, you want to ask that question? It's a really good one.
And who wants to, has a lot of open offices and a lot of people that just drop into the office with their laptop. And so because of the open office, they can't have Zoom or team meetings from their desk. So they built a bunch of kiosks, small rooms that'll have a connection, internet connection, and a light. And they want to put an IV in each one of the rooms. And they want people to come in and get the advantage by plugging their laptop into an IV. But should they sign on to a Zoom room, a new Zoom event each time? Is there a Zoom product that corporate-wide could just be open all the time? What's a good solution for this particular client? Somebody walk in for just a short meeting and leave, back in for a short, somebody else go in. Any suggestions are welcome.
Frank, please.
I would have a question before I give an answer. Who's supporting them? Are they supporting themselves, or is there a support person who's going to help them if the equipment's not working or something's a problem?
Well, they have a support person in the building. Yes.
So, it's philosophical to some extent. I know my own computer. I know where my stuff is. Hopefully, right? So I bring my laptop, I plug in. I know where Zoom is on my laptop, versus maybe my laptop's a piece of junk and I've got 27 viruses, and the one that's being maintained by the corporation will be clean and pristine and good to go all the time.
These would be corporate laptops. This is corporate issue. It's a huge company.
I think David might, what was that, Zoom huddles or whatever they had? If you want an ongoing meeting that never ends.
Well, it's not an ongoing meeting.
Oh, okay.
I'd be walking in from my own meeting. I'm going to meet with a client, and
so we have lots of rooms set up where I am, where there's a computer that's dedicated to Zoom in the room with a rally bar, which is, let's just say it takes the place of the Ivy in this scenario, but we still allow people to plug in their laptops, and so you can do a mix and match or both or neither.
So they just walk in and there's a USB-C plug and they plug it in their laptop, and now they've got a camera and a sound.
Yep.
But do they sign on to Zoom each time to to show they're there. That's what I'm trying to establish.
The way we do it is even if you use the house computer that's set up dedicated to Zoom, you have to sign in every time. Or if you walk in with your computer, you'd still have to sign in to Zoom. Either way, you have to sign in.
Ray, what do you got?
Well, I'm thinking if I'm at my desk and I'm working and I've got a meeting and I got to go over to this kiosk, if they're using Zoom the way they ought to use Zoom, they probably have Zoom open because maybe they're using Docs or maybe they're doing team chat or whatever. You're logged in. My assumption is once you go over to Ivy and plug it in, you've just got a new microphone and camera, and you don't have to do anything. You're already logged in. And my other, same side of that coin is never share Zoom accounts between people. Just don't. It's bad news and it's against the Zoom terms of service. But these days with AI companion, you've got docs, you've got notes. You're maybe going to make a recording if you're logged into somebody else's. It's now
So
you
they
got
already
the
have
passwords.
they already have that loaded like I have on my laptop. So they're just basically just going to walk in the room and plug in, and their laptop is going to control the event.
Well, I don't know what you mean by control the event.
Well,
They're going to be a participant in the event.
No, they're going to dial up the client. They're going to set up a meeting and that scheduled meeting. The client knows about it. They know about it. They click in and they enter a meeting, a unique meeting for that particular.
Correct. And I don't want to, in any way denigrate the wonderfulness of Ivy, but really it's just a camera and a microphone in those keys.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't make any difference whether they're connected there or whether they're at home or in their little kiosk office, out in the big bay interrupting people. They're just having a meeting and everyone, they send the link out and everybody joins.
Good. Thanks.
I think it's that simple.
I thought it'd be that simple.
Can I ask a related question, Ray? Before what you just said about never sharing your Zoom credentials, I'm with you. Fine. Okay. Yeah. But how, if I can't make it to a meeting, how do I let someone else start it for me? Because alt host is only for people in your own org.
And your account, correct.
So how do I let, if I want to start the Zoom test kitchen, but I can't be here, how do I let you start it for me?
So there's 3 ways to share access to meetings. And one of those, as you've pointed out, is alt host. The other one is scheduling privilege. And as you pointed out earlier, both of those require the other person to be in your organizational account. If you are, this question is asked a lot on the Zoom community. If you are hosting, the one that comes to mind pretty frequently is like an AA meeting or something, and I can't open every one of those because I got to do things, but I want to let other people do that. You set up the meeting requiring password. You set up the meeting with no waiting room, and you set up the meeting with join before host. And you give the trusted people that can become host your host key, which is on your profile page. And you give that to someone, they can go in even if a few other people have already joined and they can claim host. And they can start the waiting room or whatever protocol you want to do. But yes, there's an interim there where anyone can join in this first 15 minutes of the meeting. And the other issue is that if you have the recurrence of a meeting, if it's a recurring meeting and it's join anytime, people can literally join at any time. I recommend that they not do that, but have a scheduled recurring meeting or an individual meeting and make it no waiting room, with a passcode, and join before host. Those are the 3 requirements to make that work.
So let's real quick, let's just, and I know, Lois, I see your hand. I'm sorry. I just want to,
okay.
That's okay. All right. So I'm going to schedule a meeting.
Yes.
this is a hosting meeting. Okay, for whatever. It's not going to be recurring. So meeting ID, that's fine. Passcode. I love the passcode that they give you.
You might have to do the generate automatically. I haven't looked directly at the requirements, but
okay, that's fine.
yeah.
But interesting. As soon as I get that, I can't. My security options go away. I'm not sure why.
Are they down below? Or?
Oh yeah, they moved down. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I turn.
So you have to turn off waiting room and on to passcode. And then scroll down. You want to scroll down, and in the options, show the options. Allow participants to join 15 minutes before. Notice in the pull down that any time is an option, and I do not recommend doing that because anybody can join your meeting anytime, literally.
Great. And then
you hit save and it's good to go.
Right. And then we find our, what do you call it?
Your profile, right?
In profile.
Scroll down.
And it's right there.
The host key. And here's the trick. You don't click the eyeball because you're revealing the host key. But if you reveal your host key, and it might just be because it's covered by my little film strip of names. Yeah, there's the edit button way out on the right. You can click that if you want to change your host key. So if you go, this is a dumb host key. It's got to be 6 characters, 6 numbers typically, and you just give that to somebody. And I always put in the Zoom community that if you're going to do this regularly, I recommend changing the host key about once a quarter, just so that if someone gets it that probably shouldn't be coming back in, they're not going to have it.
Okay. This is great.
Ray, here's a thought that I had. Could a free account that would be part of David's org become an alt host?
I think an alt host has to be a licensed account, I think.
Okay. Because that could be another way of doing it too, is having David really just set up.
Yeah. That's an interesting idea, Mike. That we should dig into that and see if that's true. If you have to be a licensed user.
You do. You have to be part of the same org and you have to be a licensed user.
Okay. All right. That was a great idea though. Yeah.
I tried.
No, but this makes sense. What you just described, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah. That's great. And there's several responses where people go, I want to have more than one person, share access to this room, and they don't give me any more details. And I go through, in some cases, I've copied and pasted, alt host is one, scheduling privilege is another, and then the host key is the kind of the third way.
Or Zoom could allow multi-organizational alt hosts, but they don't seem to want to do that. They've been getting that feature request for years now, and they don't seem to want to do it for whatever. Maybe it's a technical reason, but if I want to invite David and he's not part of my organization to be alt host, I don't see why they can't make a mechanism that makes that possible.
And Tamara's also mentioning that if you don't need breakout rooms and stuff like that, or the ability to mute people or unmute people, you can just have them join and
that's very true. That's very true. But if you need the ability to do that, like in an AA meeting where you want to make sure that there are no disruptors, you want to be able to kick somebody out if there's an issue, you want to have a host. But
I use it with my writing group. We have a digital cafe. They can enter and exit whenever they want, and I get an email that says, David's joined the meeting. And I'm like, awesome, amazing. You go right by yourself. It's awesome.
When you do that, so you have to have passcode turned on and waiting room turned off for this to work. Right. Hypothetically, once the person comes in and gets host because they use that host key, can they flip those options? Can they turn on waiting room and turn off passcode?
If they have the host key, yes. If I enter my own meeting through the link that other people enter through, even I don't have host. So if it's just an open meeting, then you don't have host.
I do want to say they cannot turn off passcode. Passcode is enabled for the meeting,
Right.
and there's no way to turn off passcode once the meeting has been started
But
and
you
people
could turn on waiting room.
can turn on waiting room.
Yes.
So everyone gets the link, and it's a longer
Right.
link. It's not 9 characters or whatever. It's a longer link. They click and they get there, and they'll get the waiting room, and whoever is the host can go, I don't know this guy. I'm not letting him in.
Frank and Lois, I promise we're getting to you. I'm sorry.
So this is still the same topic. I had a user contact me who was really unhappy because they did all the things that Ray just talked about, except that they forgot to turn off auto record. So they were mad because people were showing up to the meeting all the time at different hours of the days and night. Nobody would be there. They would leave. And then in the morning, their inbox would have 37 recordings because every time someone entered the room, the recording would start. So make sure you take that into consideration if you're going to do this, whether or not you want recordings, if it's a perpetual type of meeting.
Call. Good call. Thank you. Lois, what's up?
Back to Ray. Ray, did you get all the answers that you needed, or did we need to talk about that a little more?
I think it's pretty clear. There's no sense in inventing something else that they join. Although at some point, I know that one client is thinking about rolling in an IV on a cart to an executive who's just going to jump into a meeting, and they were going to leave Zoom rooms open or something. And I didn't understand exactly what they were going to do. So I thought maybe that was something. But no, I think we're good, Lois. Thanks.
Okay. Well, the thing that I was thinking about is if one person has a client and they've scheduled a time, you got to make sure that you are either there before the time, or you have it so that they can get in before the meeting starts, so that you aren't in a situation where someone comes to meet with you and they get told, nope, there's no meeting here.
No, that's pretty
be
standard.
careful.
That's pretty
So-
standard to allow people
Yeah.
to join early.
And what I'm saying is that you have the option of putting messages on that screen where it says waiting for the host. And that's a really good thing, especially in a business like yours, where you have got clients, that you can give them assurance that things are okay, and maybe even a little more information or something. So to keep in mind.
Thank you.
Great. Can I ask a recording question? My wife has an account through the school that she teaches at. And she went in for, she was doing conferences from home last week. And every time she started a meeting, it was recording. Ironically, they're not allowed to record the conferences. So we had to stop it every time. And I went in to her settings and I turned off automatic recording, and it was still recording. Is there an admin setting that can force recording?
The question was she the person whose account created the meeting? Because the creator of the meeting gets to choose that automatic recording or not.
It was an instant meeting. So it wasn't even a scheduled meeting.
So she was using
was
her
it a
own
PMI
personal
meeting?
number?
No. She was using the account that her school gave her, but she just said start meeting. She just
So
using
the school is the one who created that account and those meetings, and therefore they would be in control of does it record or not.
Well, but she has access to her settings. To her.
There's 3 places you can control this. You can control it globally at the account level, where you could say all meetings hosted by anybody are recorded all the time. That would be foolish to turn on. You can turn it on in your own personal settings so that you don't have to remember to record meetings, or you can turn it on for a specific meeting.
Is it?
And the other question is, if the meeting is already scheduled.
You know where else it is?
Where?
It's in my favorite place. There's a 4th place.
PMI.
Jealous.
PMI.
Oh, I never use PMI.
I know you don't, but I do. And when you just start an instant meeting, which is what she did, and I didn't tell her, I just want to be clear, I did not tell her to do that. it's not my influence. She just did it. There is, I'm looking now, and I did not go into the personal meeting room and turn it off there, but there is a button that says automatically record meeting. I bet you that's what it was. So so Lois, you were right that it's possible that the org has it set. Like Frank said, there's admin settings, but in this case, I have a gut feeling that it was just because it was the PMI, and she did.
So she created the meeting, and at that level, at that PMI level, just got a choice.
Right.
But Ray said something really important that I think a lot of people probably missed, which is if you create a scheduled meeting or some kind of meeting, right, and it's scheduled, and one of the options you pick is record, for example, and then you go into your personal settings and change some settings, that only takes effect on future meetings. Right. The previous ones will go from the previous settings.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Hi, Tony. Welcome.
Hello, guys. I thought that I was going to just be able to listen and participate in YouTube. You
guys can't stay away. You and
my barber is here and then cutting my hair and my wife's hair, and I asked a question, and Mike said, "You need to come in and ask your question."
Hey, get the barber. Bring the barber in. I want to meet the barber.
We can all get a virtual haircut.
We can all get a virtual haircut.
www.zoombarber.com.
Wait,
how does that work?
Wait a second.
He's been coming since the pandemic, so and we just continued. So
what's the question?
So I was asking a question about a low cost camera that not for us, not for the people in the Zoom test kitchen, but regular people. And the range is $50 to $100 max, because I'm really wanting to see if I can find something that will help the parishioners. I want to be transparent and say most of them are using their laptop cameras, and it's just not good. So I just wanted to know if you guys had any ideas on something that might work.
Everyone's got a cell phone. You can use your cell phone as a camera for Zoom.
You can use Zoom on your phone.
Now, Tony, tell them a little more, because I think when you were mentioning this, when you're watching us on YouTube, I think it was more around the time when we were talking about the Facebook portal or the Meta portal. So you're talking about an appliance, correct?
Well, an appliance was kind of what I was thinking about, but I really was thinking about something that, was $50 that $100 somebody could attach to the laptop that would, be USB-C, that would dramatically improve their laptop.
So Tony, the camera you have in the laptop depends how good it is, depends upon what laptop you have, how new it is, all that sort of stuff. And do you really think a $50 camera is going to be any better than the camera in your laptop? I don't. I really don't.
I got two things real quick. One is, back in my days when I was a member of the National Association of Parliamentarians, our district director would frequently join our meetings from his home, and I swore to him every time, where's the smoke in your room coming from, Mike? It looks like you're in this smoky room, and it really is. He says, I've rebooted my laptop, it's a built-in thing, and that's right. And I said, well, take one of these little eyeglass wipes and do that to your camera lens. And he did that, and it cleared right up. And so I've been advising people who have that sort of smoky look to their camera to kind of do that. But if you really are looking for something, the camera that I have here is the Logitech C920. It's available at Target for $56. It does a good job. It has a built-in microphone. It has a fold down. I think this one also has a fold down privacy screen.
shutter.
Yeah, but for me, something like that, or the camera that I have now is actually a Brio, a little bit more high end than that, but not a whole lot. Just sometimes a brand new camera that's modern. That kind of to Lois's point that if you had bought your laptop when laptops were first a thing, refreshing that might be an option for you instead of getting a brand new laptop or something along those lines.
Go ahead,
Thank
Frank.
you.
So I've been making TV shows for 30 whatever years. The most important thing camera needs is light. Add some light to your situation, and even your cheap camera will look so much better.
Yeah, that's the quick and dirty on that one, Tony. But let me get back to what I think is important is that do you feel that your church audience are skillful enough for a laptop? And that is asking a lot in that regards too, because there's a lot of people that use a laptop, but yet it's only there because they know how to surf. So that is also a question too.
That is an issue. Almost all of them are on a laptop.
Get two desk lamps, one on each side of the desk, and take the shades off.
Exactly. They can fix their lighting with what they have at home.
Okay.
If you really want to go crazy,
go to camera.
Go crazy and go to Home Depot or somewhere and get some daylight balanced bulbs for the lamps, and just put a desk lamp, but one on each side of the computer. Take the lamp shades off, and your picture will probably improve by 40 or 50% immediately.
I'm doing a seminar in a couple weeks, Tony. I'll send you the tape.
Okay.
That's literally lighting for and designed for people who don't do that normally. So it's for actors, but I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
When I'm talking to someone, a lot of times what I'll say is, okay, I can see you sort of, but there's this bright window behind you. Are you using a laptop? Yes, I am. How about picking that thing up and turning? And just that much gets the bright light from behind them onto their side instead of, and it's amazing what you can do. Just
and curtains, imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, ideally too, if you can get a shade in front of those curtains, that would be even better too. The more light you can get out of the background, the better.
Well, let's say you have a big
turn around so you're facing it and it gets you. You don't have to buy lamps or anything.
Exactly. Like if you're gonna have a big window, like use it to your advantage and instead of having it work against you. Like turn around.
Yep.
Okay.
The thing with sunlight though is the color balance changes as the clouds roll by, and it'll get dark and bright. I mean, your auto gain will take care of some of that, but I would rather shut the curtains and control the lighting with house lamps or something.
And if you're the folks that Tony's talking about, you probably aren't going to really notice whether the light color has shifted because it's overcast instead of sunny. As long as they can see you, we're good.
You have to care enough.
Can I share something with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Of how I use Zoom. So my operational team has what they call a stand-up meeting twice a week. And often I try and attend them, but don't succeed always. And then a light bulb went on about 2-3 weeks ago. I said, I want all the meetings to be in Zoom now. And so even though they're only 6 or 7 people, and they're all in the same room, it's not like they're in different rooms. But I asked them to have their meeting in Zoom. And then obviously with the AI companion, I have a summary of the meeting. So then we place all of these in a corporate, on the NAS, the actual recording of the meeting and the notes around it. You cannot believe how helpful that has been, because the the summary also says, okay, next steps. These are the steps that need to be. So it's been very useful from a productivity point of view. Don't need a minute taker. Don't need somebody to, so okay, who's managing the follow-ups. So I thought that was just a useful abuse of Zoom.
A useful abuse of Zoom. Good wording. Tony, did that help? Or are you still looking for potentially something different?
I think that there will be some that will embrace the C920. I think there will be some that would actually be interested in adding the light. So I thank you all.
Perfect, Tony. Thank you.
Don't
So
forget
again-
clean your lens. If your computer's close to your kitchen and you're cooking all the time, that lens can get pretty greasy.
Absolutely. Thank you.
They don't have fried food in Georgia. What are you talking about?
Sorry, Tony. I apologize if I upset the flow. I thought the
No,
conversation was done.
Thank you so much. It was time to transition. Thank you.
Oh, now everybody's quiet. No, go ahead.
have a
Has
question.
anything else? Go
I
ahead.
have a question.
Go ahead, Lois.
So I have a large screen desktop computer, and so I can have a window that's quite large. And when I use Zoom, I can put all those little icons around the bottom, But if I make that thing smaller, then the icons condense and I get the 3 dots with there's more stuff happening. What I want to know is if I don't see chat as one of the options and I go to the 3 dots and I start a chat, does it show up in those few that are left that it wasn't there before? Or am I just imagining things?
That's a good one. Go ahead, Ray.
That depends, Lois, on how much room you have left. And as long as you've not made it so small that there's only room for the obligatory buttons that Zoom has to put down there, which is audio, video, share screen, more, and leave. If you've got it big enough so that when you select something out of the more menu, that there's room for that to go into the menu at the bottom, it will do that. If there's not room at the bottom, but there are other non-obligatory things in the bottom, it will actually go over in there, and whichever one of those things at the bottom that you've used the least or longest ago will pop back over into the more menu. So the real thing to make sure people know is if you don't see something down there that you were hoping to see, go look in the more menu.
Mm-hmm.
You can also drag something, I believe, from the more menu over to the menu bar, and you go, oh, that's chat. I don't want it right now, but I don't want it over there. I want it over here.
But you can also click on chat to pop out from the window so that you can move it and size it to wherever you want, even put it on top of the Zoom window.
Yeah, and that's important when you're not in full screen. When you're in full screen, normally it will pop out anyway and can go somewhere. But in less than full screen, it wants to dock. There's a little thing that you can click, as Ray said.
So just to follow up with what you said, when I make this small, the obligatory things are, and it won't get any smaller than audio, video, more, and leave. And then there's one in the middle, which changes depending upon what the last thing I used was. So share's not there. And so if I go to if right now it says audio, video, participants, more, and leave. If I open the chat through the 3 buttons, then that participants will change to chat, which is really cool.
Interesting. I just squished my menu down, and you're right. Audio, video, more, and leave. And if I click on one of those participants, even that doesn't go into the menu because I don't have enough space for it. You have to open it up just enough. That's interesting.
Hey, Frank. This is now the second time that I've tried to do this avatar thing in clips, and I don't see it.
Don't know what to tell you. I
Check
thought
with
you
the system
would be the person
administrator.
who would be on the vanguard of this.
I know. I'm gonna try and maybe I have it something turned off. I don't know. I don't know. You want to tell us what that's about?
Oh, I was reading the Zoom blog, and they you know how the only avatars they used to have were the cartoony, childish avatars. Now they're going to have some human avatars, where you can, put in a script and it'll do all the talking or whatever for you. And then in Discord this week, you and I were discussing, I posted that Zoom is going to have an ability to record yourself, which they called a seed recording, and then it would be able to generate a likeness of you and be able to read the scripts as though you were speaking.
Manage avatars. I don't. Yeah, I don't see the.
That's in the future. There's no such avatars right now in our programs, is there?
I know there's an update coming on Monday the 17th. I'm not sure. I can't find those release notes anymore, but they were promoting a bunch of new things on the 17th.
That's the future. I
Well,
can't find
it's
it.
Monday.
It's okay.
Monday is the future.
Monday is the future. Yeah. It's just I looked, I couldn't find it. I'm going, oh no, did I make a no? It
Well,
just
no, I mean,
But there's also Zoom clips that you pay for and regular Zoom clips. I'm not sure how that plays into it, right? Zoom seems to have a lot of plus features now.
So I'm trying to log in to see if there's an admin setting. I mean, we do have avatars now. We've had them for a while. They just have been.
But do you have these avatars that I posted in
No,
the
no,
chat?
no. That's
No.
what we don't have, right? So, but I'm wondering if there's some sort of setting on the back end that I don't know. Account management.
look on Monday, David. Look on Monday after the new release comes out.
I no, but this is not part of the new release.
Oh,
No, this is available now.
Yeah,
I have seen some demos of this already.
you have. All right, clips. Let's see. Do you think it would be in clips or in? I wonder if it would be in AI.
Oh, looking in the actual page that Frank sent, you have to go into personal and then go into clips. And it should be in there. You should see create with AI companion. And that is the screen that Frank brought up.
All right, hold on a second. So, right, personal and then clips. Yeah, there is no create with AI. Per profile. First of all, yeah, personal, and then you should click on clips. So this is. Sorry, my screen's a little busy, so I apologize for that. But this is let me close this. Move this. Just clean things up a little bit for you. So I'm on clips, my clips, my playlists, okay, yada, 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 whatever. And then if I do new clip, it opens Zoom, which I don't want it to do because I'm already in Zoom. So let's close that.
but how can you record yourself if you aren't recording yourself on Zoom?
No, I understand that, but
he's in Zoom.
I know he's in Zoom. I think that's the problem.
No,
Yeah.
because
You're in a meeting.
No, because I have another Zoom open on this other computer, and I don't have it here either. That's why I was wondering if maybe there's some setting or something.
So I'm reading this article, and it says if you don't see it, click here, and it gives me this link I'm about to paste.
Okay.
But I haven't read this whole document yet, so
Yeah, David, if you do have it enabled, eventually there should be a third option where it says record new clip,
Yeah,
upload video as clip, or create with AI companion.
right. How to record?
Zoom Workplace Pro or higher is required. Do you have that?
Yep.
Clips has to be enabled.
Yep.
Well, when I went to look at the Zoom Clips link that they have in there, it takes me to a place where it says, okay, you can buy clips. I have a Zoom Pro account, but
How to record a
That's
Zoom clip.
it's telling me I need to buy one.
Yeah. So this is
Manage your clips.
again. So this is a Zoom client that I'm not currently in a meeting. It's a pro account. If I click on new clip, all that's going to do is it's going to open up. Right. So this is what you were saying, Mike, right? Record new clip, upload video as clip, and then there's a third option.
Then there will be a third option that has the little AI icon that says create with AI companion.
Right.
So there's Clips Basic and Clips Plus.
Which I have.
Doesn't mention avatars in the table.
See. Oh, look what I found.
Found it?
Create clips with AI companion. New. Create clips that uses your user's chosen avatar to read the script they enter. Locked by admin.
So you have to go into your admin now, David, to enable
I
it.
know. I'm doing it. Hold on a second. Over here, and then I'm going to type in avatars and enable. Okay, so now if I
Cutting edge.
this, now this is another, let's see, what did I say? Avatars? Okay, and now it's turned on. Oh, I don't really.
Because it's locked on.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to
Can't turn your own off. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now let's go to clips and we should see create with AI companion. Click a doodle. Here we go.
Yay.
All right. So we've got Claire, Aaron 2, Maya 2, Julia. Okay, we don't really need to look at every single person. There are a bunch of them, though. No. I'm thinking maybe some drug use.
You maybe should try Emma.
Emma? Okay. Wait, where's Emma?
Just
Emma.
pick one. I want to actually
I'm
see the
sorry.
end result.
I'm saying too much. I apologize. All right. We picked Emma. Now we need a script. All right. Now let's see. I've got to have something over here in ChatGPT I can use. Hold on a second. Polar ice caps review. I don't even know what that is. No, that's not what I want.
Choose a poem. You've got poems in there, don't you?
A poem? All right, let's
Ask ChatGPT to write you a poem. Yeah.
Oh, that'll take too long. We're in the middle
A
of
Zoom test kitchen poem.
Right. Oh, no, you know what I'll do?
The song.
Use the lyrics from the song.
Exactly. All right, here's that. We'll just take the chorus. We'll take verse 2. Or yeah. Okay. So we got that, and now we go back over here and we put that in here. All right, 32 seconds. Create clip.
David, the person that actually made the video for me that did this demo is making sure that I told me to remind everybody that it's only 3 minutes of content per month.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Even on
Yes.
What if you get Clips Plus?
Yeah, I have Clips Plus.
That's,
What are you, Ray?
The piece that I read said that this is the initial limitation because they're just getting started, and I don't think they have an idea yet of how much people will use it. And they emphasize the fact that they're paying somebody on the back end to generate this. That's why they have to limit it.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I understand that. So it's queued up now. We're just waiting for that to so we can talk about something else, and I'll let you know when that's done doing its queuing.
Be done a week from
Tuesday. Let's talk about the second part that's not available yet. So the seed recording, how does everyone feel about that? So you record yourself, and then Zoom will create an avatar based on your seed recording, and then you'll have an avatar of yourself that
Wait,
you can do this with.
Hold on. What?
Yes.
Where's
Yeah,
that?
sounds reasonable.
That's what I posted in Discord the other day, and you were trying to tell me I posted in the wrong.
Article. No, but it was a long article which I didn't understand because it was talking about a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, but the clip, the part I pasted was the part that I'm talking about now.
Okay, sorry. I got because I just clicked on the link, so I got the whole thing.
Is this coming out on Monday, Frank?
No. It was announced at Zoomtopia, and they have a whole year till the next Zoomtopia to make it a reality if they do. I mean, not everything they say at Zoomtopia happens, but
Yeah.
this is a pretty strong indication that it'll probably happen, that they've already got these avatars, right?
Well,
Optional add-on.
in other places, not in Zoom, like in Midjourney, you can take a still of yourself and put it in, and then tell it that that's the basis of what you're going to do. And so it doesn't seem unreasonable to me that they would do a similar thing for a video clip. The only question I have is if I just do this and I'm talking whatever, and they can't see the top of my head, are they going to give me hair?
What I want to know is what does the licensing between Zoom and the end user say about them taking your digital likeness and repurposing it? Can they?
Oh,
What are we agreeing to when we use this service?
oh, that's a good
Well,
question.
Based on Zoom's history, and I'm not speaking for Zoom, but based on Zoom's history with all of their AI related products, the things that are generated for you are yours, and they don't use them for anything else. So they're not going to take your likeness and use it for somebody else.
I agree. That's how they've been so far with everything.
This is actually the ability to do this isn't new. It's been built into Adobe's character animator for many years. Is it all you really have to do is there's about 20 phonemes that your mouth makes certain motions and positions based on whether you're saying an A or an E or an M or, and they just magically put those into your face.
I'd like to hear everyone's opinion, but I definitely want to hear David's opinion because he has strong opinions about certain things. How compelling would you find it, David, if every Monday your boss sent you a AI generated avatar of themselves telling you some company news? Would that interest you, or would you quickly become tired of it?
I'd want to read it. I have no interest in that at all. But I also don't have any interest in him sending me a video of himself actually saying it. Just send it, just read it to me.
But he's really just copying, pasting some text into a thing, and
right.
The problem that I have.
Let's see how this woman does. Hold on, here we go.
We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab, make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Chorus. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate, join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late.
I mean, it's obvious to me that that's not real.
Yeah.
I think
live instead of live.
Yeah. Well, no, I just mean and of course I was paying really close attention, but her mouth, it was not on target.
It was out of sync, but then a lot of time in Zoom meetings, people's mouth is out of sync.
Yeah, no, but it was also, it was, this to me.
It was hokey.
Feels a little, well, it also feels a little bit like virtual backgrounds, right? This already is not real life. Yeah. We are already not biologically, physically in the same space. And so to heighten our awareness of the fakeness of what this is by bringing in more fake stuff, I don't get it. So this feels to me just like either just do it or don't. Either make the video or don't. I don't know. That's just me.
So I can see this being useful for people who have for example, been in a car crash and they're recovering and they've got, an arm in a cast and they're all banged up and they don't want people to see them that way. And so, sure, use your avatar of yourself to say something if you have to. And it'll go up there and go, I'm sorry, but Lois is unavailable at this time. She should recover in 6 months. Please come back then.
Incidentally, just because someone mentioned it before, there is a notice up here at the top. You can create 3 minutes of avatar clips each month, and then you can see your usage on the right side here.
And David also noticed the top right.
What am I
created with Zoom AI Companion?
Yeah. And that was in the one that I was showing also. Yeah.
To make sure that you understand that it is actually AI generated.
And you can put them in. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I get the appeal. It just doesn't do anything for me.
So what I want to know is when we're going to have them able to follow along in a song, and we can have all of the avatars of the people and singing the Zoom Test Kitchen song.
Well, Eric, like 2 years ago, Eric, the CEO, he talked about, he talked about your avatar will go to meetings for you.
Yep. I mean, imagine coming to Zoom Test Kitchen and we were all these avatars of ourselves.
But the ones that look like real people, not
yeah.
Right.
But imagine 20 years from now or 5 years from now, the avatar knows what you want to say, represents your viewpoints, and it's just a bunch of avatars interacting, and none of us actually come to the meeting anymore. Then we all get the meeting summaries.
I could have the avatar join while I'm still preparing my lunch, and then I can kind of slip in and make sure that I'm wearing the same shirt that the avatar is wearing. Nobody would know the difference.
I could have my avatar start the meeting because they're in my org. They don't need the host key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't that become interesting?
The problem for me with all of this is that because the world revolves around me, to my mind, the whole point of Zoom and tools like this is to connect human beings to one another. And this tech undoes that to my mind. So I get it. I really do get the appeal. But it's
evolving. I mean, I'm sure it'll get better, but right now the inflection and the tone is wrong, and like it's flat where it shouldn't be flat, and it's so detectable right now. Like,
right,
takes you out of the moment. It's a novelty more than anything, I think.
It is, sure. I will say for clips, because clips are asynchronous, so I'm not talking to you in real time. If I'm making a demo video or something, I don't think I would, but I could imagine, I'm disheveled, I'm not made up, I'm not in my office, whatever. I can imagine, I'll just have the AI do it. But for meetings, that doesn't interest me.
You could actually go down this road. And again, we're starting to talk more about Simulive in Zoom sessions and Zoom events, where you could easily, Ray, correct me if I'm wrong, do a Zoom clips and actually have the Zoom clips be the Simulive at the beginning of the webinar.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. You could. Huh. You're right. I mean, that's a hack, but you're right. You could.
Well, again, now to the newest feature too, which Ray and I learned about, and this has been only for a few weeks now, where you actually, after the Simulive, you can actually go live.
Right.
In the webinar, where before it was Simulive and then it finished. So now you could actually do that Zoom clip at the beginning as a Simulive start, and then transition from that to live.
Yep.
Hey, Mike, what's the difference between Simulive and just playing a recording? I don't think I know what Simulive is.
Nothing. It drives me bananas, Lois.
The real difference is you can schedule a Simulive with a pre-recorded piece, and nobody has to attend from your organization. And in order to play a thing, someone's got to be there and play the thing. I've got a client that I'm actually working to do this for. He's in the financial advisement industry, and his corporate people want to make sure he never says anything wrong in his financial advice webinars. And so we're pre-recording these and setting them up for Simulive, and people will still be able to ask questions in the Q&A, and we'll harvest those after the webinar's over, and his staff will answer those via email and, recruit clients.
And again, in this case, Ray's client's doing it afterwards. But again, this also allows you to run the Simu live and also answer questions live and at the end. After
the lawyers have checked it all for danger.
Yeah. If nobody cares, then nobody cares. But if they really care, yeah, it's a good protection mechanism.
Well, look at Apple. I mean, all of their keynotes now are pre-recorded because it gives them ultimate control, right?
Well, and I can also see the good of having a pre-recorded something if you've got a conference going on where it's 3 days and a whole bunch of speakers and whatever. If you do some or all of them pre-recorded, then you know exactly what got said and you can provide the appropriate links or information or handouts or whatever. And the people who listen to the conference afterwards are getting exactly the same things as the people who were in the online Zoom room at the time.
I worked at a corporation in the 90s, end of the 90s, where they were hiring about 400 people a week. And every Monday, everyone would walk into the auditorium and hear the exact same corporate speech. And it must be super tiring to be that team that has to go up every Monday. If you could pre-record all that stuff and save yourself the effort, you could use that time for something else.
Robots. We'd have robots get up on the stage and say the piece.
Well, that's what John said in the chat.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, well, John was actually joining us on YouTube. Go ahead, Ray.
The other thing, Lois, to your point, is if you're going to have a Zoom event and it's going to be multiple days, you've got a keynote on day one, you could actually replay that keynote speech on day 3, and then at the point where you transitioned to Q&A with the new, Simulive to live, at the point where you say, okay, now we're going to handle Q&A, you can shut off the recording and then live take those questions live. And I think there are a number of people really looking for that in the use case.
Wasn't there something, Ray, where you had to, like you have to schedule it. When you schedule it, you have to upload a video, but then you can replace the video or something? Like if you want to record yourself.
Oh, David.
What was that? Wasn't there something about
David? Yes, it's a really big point. It's a really big point, and it's a really big sore point with me. Because it says, oh yeah, if you've got a recording and you made the recording in a webinar and you decided to take out the pieces and re-edit it, and now you want to upload that, you can do that and play that with enablement by the Zoom team. And they don't do it for everybody, and they haven't done it and won't do it for my client because he's too small.
So I don't
I'll hop down off my soapbox now.
You could upload. Why can you not upload that kind of video, but you could upload a different kind of video?
You can't. You cannot do the upload video to a Simulive recording unless it's been enabled by Zoom. And
So how do you get a video into Simulive then?
Wait, hold on.
Oh, you schedule a webinar. You just schedule a webinar. This is Ray and so making a recording. You go in, you say, okay, here we go. Take it away. And you put up his slides and he gives his thing to.
Simulive is a repeat of a live.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was missing that. I apologize.
Ray.
And you can trim off the beginning portion, you can trim off the tail portion. And what I recommend people to do is to play the little 3-minute musical intro that says, we're going to be here in a couple of minutes, so that it doesn't just start with, hi, everybody, my name's Mark, and I'm here to tell you about when people are starting to pile into the webinar. So there's some considerations to making a Simulive work really well.
Ray, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So I used a virtual camera and a virtual microphone. Couldn't I use a recording and use that as my voice and my recording to hack it?
That's what I'm going to have to do.
Yeah.
Yes. The issue I ran into, sorry, the issue I ran into is that I then went in to record a sample. I was just going to record a sample of the recording to see how it turns out. And I'm checking on my computers. And the document on HD says very clearly that screen sharing is always shared at the native resolution. And I was pumping out 1920 by 1080, and I was getting 360 on the other end.
I was going to ask
recording,
if screen share.
the recording was doing that too. Well, what I was doing was I was playing the video.
Right. You don't even need a virtual camera, though. You could have a video in a screen share that you're presenting live, and that becomes your simulation.
Multiple ways to skin that, right?
Yeah. Wow.
And that's what I'm kind of reduced to is, now I've got the video and it's 45 minutes total, and play it live and then use that recording as the simulation.
I do this all the time to get meeting summaries for things that weren't done in Zoom.
What do you mean?
So like often I get invited, or I get recordings from like Google Meets or other things. And then I'll open up a Zoom meeting, I'll screen share, I'll play the recording. I'll have my microphone on, but I physically mute my microphone. And then I get a meeting summary. The only thing is everything that's said is attributed to me. And then I have to go and edit who said what.
That's funny. Why don't you just take the recording, throw it into ChatGPT or something?
Yeah, it's more fun this way.
That's so funny.
Because then it all goes on to I have my media hosting from Zoom goes to my cloud hosting that's not Zoom.
You get a saved copy of it. Yeah. Huh. Well, the ways that we hack this stuff.
Gotta hack it. Gotta get things done. One way or another. All right. I'm going to throw up this Q&A before David leaves, because David doesn't usually get to see this. So I'm going to do a little stinger. So if you got any questions or for the group, let us know in YouTube chat.
That needs audio.
That was for David. I know.
I need some kind of music.
I know. We need the whoosh in the whoosh. Yeah.
No, hold on. No. No. I'm trying to find the right effect to go with it.
Just the melody from the Zoom Test Kitchen theme song or something.
I need to figure out how to grab that audio, because I can't. There's no way to download the audio from Sora.
Use loopback.
Yes, there is. I wish not to comment.
Play it on Zoom and make a cloud recording of just
Frank. I could do what Frank does. I could just play it.
Yeah, but you could just use loopback or Rogue Amoeba or whatever. Like,
I know. I meant natively. I meant easily.
Easily look at the source code of the website and do a find for .mp3.
Yeah, that's not.
Or .mp4, and then you'll have your, as Ray was asking earlier, the MP4. Then you will have the same equivalent files that I've been using at the end of the show. David, have you been catching that, David, by the way?
Not all of them.
No, he's busy doing stuff at that time of the day.
Doing stuff.
Like driving home or something.
Usually that's what I'm doing, yeah. Speaking of which.
Even John's telling me, where's the Q&A song? Okay, I'll work on that. John.
You have a Q&A song?
No, John's asking me where my Q&A song is.
I'm gonna say. Frank, I apologize. The piece of that support article that you sent was like hidden in the middle and I missed it completely. I'm so glad that we took the time today to figure that out. Thank you. Because that's
No problem.
Feature.
I'm really interested in this whole seed recording and making an avatar of myself or ourselves.
I agree with you. Isn't that like, that reminds me of Apple has that, doesn't it? With how you can like do a recording of your voice on iPhone or something. And was that iPhone?
Is it a specific sentence you have to say, David, or something like that?
Like 15 minutes. You record your voice. What the heck was this? I thought this was for Siri or something, but maybe I'm wrong. You went in, you recorded your voice for like, you had to read like a whole bunch of stuff. And then I did it, but I've never used it.
Yeah, the idea with that is to get your face in all of the different positions for each of the letters and to get your intonation in various sentences and so forth to be able to break apart the phonemes both audibly and in the video and be able to reassemble them back seamlessly.
Right. The Apple one was just audio. But yes, that's, yeah. Siri responses. I don't know what it was. I'm not finding it right now. But
the whole idea back in the day with Dragon Dictate is you had to read, 4 or 5 paragraphs of stuff so that it could figure out where the phonemes were in your voice patterns, so it could.
Yeah, but do you know about that Dragon Dictate larynx disease that people were getting? It was like an injury because of the halting way you had to speak to Dragon, that it was injuring people's voice boxes, and it was like tennis elbow, but it was like something. It had its own name for it, anyways.
Never heard of that, but I'm gonna have to look it up. Well, I have a 5-day webinar that starts next Thursday. This is the 5th year that I'm doing the virtual nursing theory workshop, and they do it Thursday through Monday between 6 and 8 hours a day of nurses talking about varieties of nursing theory. So I certainly won't be here next Friday, and I have to run to go finish my run of shows, so I'll be ready for Thursday. So see you guys again in maybe 2 weeks. Thanks a lot.
Break a leg. You're muted, Mike.
Yep. Before David disappears, I'll show David what I usually use as one of the clips. So this is one of them.
Welcome to the Zoom test kitchen where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore
it should have ended there.
tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro.
I actually thought when we played with this originally, David, and you were just singing it yourself with your guitar, I thought that was the best one out of all of them.
Where did you get the sing-along thing?
Again, David, if you go view source, once you're in that section,
okay, not gonna happen.
There, you could actually search in the actual code, and it gives you the URL to the MP4 file, and that's what I'm playing.
Oh, so you just okay, and then you put what? Did you put that into something else to to do the lyrics?
Just downloaded it.
No, but how do you get it to sing along? Is what I'm asking.
It was built. They built it that way, but that is only viewable that way if you're on a phone.
Oh, okay, I understand. Sorry,
That's why it was vertical.
Why would I sing along? It's not that catchy.
It was there and I took it.
I don't blame you.
I was not disappointed because it would either be that or just be strictly an audio to
a
song.
1,000 monkeys with 1,000 typewriters. You still don't get.
I might modify those actual verticals to actually make them perfectly 1080p as well, to do the, add the actual stuff on the side so that it fills up the black part. But yeah, I haven't done those yet to those, but that's not that hard to do.
Friends, I'm going to bid you all farewell.
Yeah, this should be a short one, I think.
Yeah. Take care, David.
Thank you, Frank.
Have a good one. Play us out, Mike.
Oh, play us out. All right. One more. We'll take it.
Do you have a different one, or is that the only one you have?
No, I've got all the whole library that was made by our.
Play your favorite.
Play my favorite. All right. 1 sec, and I will do that. Play my favorite. All right, let me just see. We've had a couple of different ones. All right, we'll go with this one. This one's a little different. I don't know if I've played this one yet. There's only so many different variations that we have, so let's see.
Let it rip.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen, where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late.
Sure, YouTube.
We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drag. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with the zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks, we'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. Audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck.
All right. On that note, I will say thank you, everyone, for joining us this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and let YouTube know how much you like our content and our songs, because you guys like those out there on YouTube. I saw those comments on YouTube. And don't forget, we're here every Friday from 3 p.m. Eastern and 12 p.m. Pacific. And see everyone next week for another edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Take care.